There's something off about time lately. It's subtle, but I can feel it, like the world's been skipping ahead without me. One minute, I'm sitting at my desk trying to finish homework, and the next, the whole afternoon's gone. It's not just me either, Anya feels it too. At first, we thought it was nothing, just another weird thing in our weird house. But when the odd house starts showing signs of aging, cracks forming in walls that were solid a day ago, it's clear something's wrong. We've lived here long enough to know the difference between normal strange and dangerous strange. Anya's poring over one of her dusty old books in the library, trying to figure out what's happening, while I'm pacing the living room. I glance at the clock, it's bent sideways, half melted. I swear it wasn't like that this morning. My slime collection, my pride and joy, sits on the shelf looking shriveled. That's when I hear the knock at the door. Of course, Mike and his gang. Bullies have a knack for bad timing. "Hey, freaks, you in there?" Mike yells from the porch. His voice always has that sneer to it, like he's trying way too hard to sound tough. Anya appears in the hallway, her brow furrowed. She knows this is about to get messy. I open the door, and there they are, Mike and his crew of lackeys, all puffed up like they own the world. They don't even make it through their usual insults before something else interrupts. The temperature drops, not in the normal spooky house kind of way, but in a bone-deep, wrong kind of way. I feel it first, a weight pressing down on the room, and I know something else is here. Something we didn't invite. The air goes thick, and then from the shadows under the floorboards, a figure starts to rise. It's like nothing I've ever seen. A ghoul, tall and hunched, with limbs that look like they've been stretched too far. Its face is twisted, half decayed, with clocks dangling from its neck, ticking way too fast. The second I see those clocks, it clicks. This thing is feeding on time. Our time. The walls around us crack even more, peeling like old wallpaper. Food in the kitchen goes bad in seconds. Mike's cocky grin fades as he and his crew realize they've just walked into something way over their heads. The ghoul's presence warps everything, and suddenly, Mike's moving in slow motion, his arm barely lifting in the air, like someone hit pause on him. "Anya, we need to figure out what this is now," I shout, feeling the panic edge into my voice. But before she can respond, everything in the room goes dark. Like shadows are swallowing the light. And then, out of the deepest shadow, he appears. Kala Bhairava. He doesn't come with fanfare or glowing entrances, he's just there, as if he's always been there, watching from the edge of reality. His eyes burn through the darkness, and there's a power in his presence that makes everything else feel small. This isn't the first time we've seen him, but it never gets any less surreal. He's not just a protector, he's something far older, something that bends the rules of the world when he chooses. He steps forward. His trident glowing faintly in the dark. This creature disturbs the balance of time. It must be stopped. His voice is deep, echoing, like it comes from everywhere and nowhere at once. He looks at me and Anya, then raises his trident. "You will have the power to fight it. Use it wisely." There's a sharp jolt, and suddenly, I feel it, this strange buzzing energy running through me. It's like I can sense every second, every moment, all happening. I lift my hand, and before I can think too much about it, the room around me slows down. Mike and his friends frozen in place. The ghoul too, its rotten grin frozen mid-motion. I grin. "I think I can stop time," I say, testing it out. Everything feels elastic, like the world's moving in slow motion, but only for a few seconds at a time. I glance at Anya. This could be fun. Anya's eyes are glowing, literally. It's the kind of glow that's unsettling and cool at the same time. She narrows her gaze at the ghoul and smirks. I can see through its tricks now. Its weak spots are visible. She points to the creature's chest, where the clocks are ticking faster and faster, feeding off the time they've stolen. We hit it there. We don't waste time. The ghoul unfurls its long arms, trying to trap us in some kind of time loop, an endless, repeating moment. The walls pulse, and I can feel us being pulled into it. The sensation is like being stuck in a dream where you can't quite move, where the same thing keeps happening over and over. But I've got my new trick up my sleeve. I freeze time again, just long enough to slip out of the loop and push Anya forward. She's already one step ahead, using her night sight to spot the patterns in the ghoul's attack. "There!" she shouts, pointing. I focus on the clocks, summoning a spectral skull, courtesy of Bhairava. It feels cold in my hand, humming with energy. With a sharp throw, it crashes into the ghoul's chest, right where Anya directed. The clocks shatter, and the creature lets out this horrible, distorted wail. But it's still not finished. It lunges again, trying to wrap its bony fingers around us. But Anya's shadow step kicks in. One moment she's beside me, the next she's behind the ghoul, throwing a broken chair at its head to distract it. She's always good at that, thinking 3 steps ahead, seeing things I don't. I rewind time just a few seconds, enough to dodge the creature's swipe and give me another shot. This time, I aim for the ghoul's back, where one last clock is still ticking, faint and cracked. The skull hits its mark, the ghoul freezes, time stuttering around it, and then, like sand slipping through an hourglass, it crumbles into dust. The room is still. Time settles back into its normal rhythm. The cracks in the walls stop spreading, the air warms, and Mike's gang snaps back to full speed, stumbling as they realize they're free. Without a word, they scramble for the door, too freaked out to think of any more insults. Kala Bhairava watches them go, then turns to us. "You have done well, but this is only the beginning. Remember, time is a delicate thing. Don't abuse the powers I've given you." He fades into the shadows again, leaving me and Anya standing in the quiet. "So," I say, turning to Anya with a grin, "what do you think the next monster will be?" She just smirks, her glowing eyes fading back to normal. "Whatever it is, we'll be ready."